Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.
Naomi Osaka's exit from the French Open stunned her fans. The 23-year-old Japanese tennis star was fined a $15,000 and also faced the threat of disqualification for, wait for this, skipping a mandatory post-match press conference. Now I'm just wondering, if our politicians were subjected to the same treatment, then what would happen? But never mind. While I understand why the press can demand a one-on-one interaction with a political leader because they're public representatives and they should answer the media, but why must sports persons be subjected to the same? And yes, I'm saying this and I'm asking that as part of the media fraternity. Sports persons do not owe us an interview, whether it be pre-match or post-match. The problem here is that sports has become so increasingly intertwined with glamour. The glamour aspect has happened because it attracts viewers, and viewers attract advertisements, and advertisements means money. And the key factor that's linking all of these things together, the common factor, is the media. Now, Naomi Osaka cited depression and her anxiety disorder as reasons to skip these mandatory post-match quizzing sessions, which often gives the media, journalists like us, headline-making moments. And of course now, not all journalists are ruthless or out there baiting anybody, but we must recognize the toll it costs on the person who's facing the camera or on the other side of the mic, because everybody's not used to the media. Now, speaking to the media is so integral in some professions that are in the public eye, like sports especially, and even acting, for example, that even though you're not bound to do it, but it becomes the norm. Now, Osaka's decision to not go to the French Open authorities, but to stay bold and stay steadfast and exit the tournament was definitely a bold decision. And we hope that she can bring the change that she aspires to, and that will be acceptable for everyone involved, as she said in her very detailed and sensitive parting message. While Naomi Osaka cited her depression and anxiety disorder as reasons for withdrawing and perhaps even putting her participation at Wimbledon and the Olympics at risk, she also confessed that she is an introvert. Now, a lot is being said about mental health and other aspects that Osaka raised, but little about introversion. So let's address that. Now, the world, let's face it, is increasingly noisy. Extroversion is rewarded and introversion is treated as though it is an illness, but it is not. Introverts may or may not be shy. They like people, but they need time alone to recharge. While extroverts are the opposite, they in fact need people around them, the noisier the better, to feel energized. Belonging to an industry like the media, which seems to groom people in order to make them speak and speak more loudly, and that voices of introverts who are also aplenty can often be drowned. But they are often the people who think deeply and have so much to say, but that mostly stays inside their heads. But when spoken, that can definitely make a difference. So I think as a society, we need to embrace the softer spoken people right from the start. That is, right from school, kindergarten, high school, college to workspaces. We need to make an environment for these people and for everyone, in fact, to express themselves freely and comfortably and without being interrupted. We need to recognize that quiet does not mean one has nothing to say, and that the skill of public speaking does not define anyone's qualification, define anyone's worth or professional skills. Now, however, having said that, it is a fact that public speaking is an acquired skill, and if you ever want to be able to do it, I can promise you that you will be able to do it if you try.